Good evening, everyone. I'm Kubrali, and you're watching Awaz News. Tonight, I'll be taking you to top news across Canada.
3 teen suspects charged after woman slashed in the face at Spadina station. What Ontario drivers need to know about major rollout of license plate scanning technology. Power restored to majority of Midtown Toronto residents after hours-long outage. A very violent collision, 3 international students dead, another critically injured in Fury Highway 427 ramp rollover. Ontario Children's Hospital healthcare orgs ask province for $371.5 million. Poll finds almost half of Torontonians don't think John Tory should resign as mayor.
These were the headlines, and now let's go through the details.
Police have made 3 arrests after a woman was slashed in the face at Spadina station over the weekend. In a news release, police said officers responded to a call for a suspicious incident in the area of Long Branch Avenue and Lake Promenade in Etobicoke on Monday. At that time, police said an officer was investigating a boy in the stairwell of a residential building. The boy attempted to flee, police said, and alerted another boy and girl. All 3 young people were arrested and are believed to be the suspects involved in the incident at Spadina station. The woman suffered facial injuries following the attack, and all 3 suspects fled the scene, police said. Investigators released surveillance images of one of the suspects involved on Monday morning. As a result of their investigation, a 16-year-old boy, a 15-year-old boy, a 15-year-old girl are each individually charged with 2 counts of assault with weapon, assault of peace officer while carrying a weapon, 2 counts of assault, and 2 counts of fail to comply with undertaking, among other offenses. Due to excellent police work and our investigators assisting, we were able to make 3 arrests to 3 individuals, Constable Alex Lee told CP24 on Tuesday. All 3 suspects were scheduled to appear in Toronto courtroom early Tuesday. A group of Ontario Children's Hospital and health organizations have asked the province for $371 million in the upcoming budget to fix pediatric care, saying the funds are desperately needed to tackle surgical, clinical, and diagnostic waitlists. The request comes just after Ottawa laid out its offer to provinces and territories on federal funding of healthcare. The deal, which the country's premiers have agreed to accept, has one-time cash boost of $2 billion for provinces and territories to use as they see fit. Although Ottawa has prioritized pediatric hospitals that need help after respiratory viruses overwhelmed them in the fall. Bilateral negotiations are now underway. Ontario's Children's Hospital say they welcome to federal deal but need long-term funding to address a massive waitlist for a variety of procedures. The Children's Health Coalition, a collective of pediatric health organizations that include Ontario's 4 major kids' hospitals, are asking Ontario Finance Minister Peter Bethlenfalvy for $371.5 million for the upcoming year. There are about 12,000 children across the province who make up the growing surgical backlog, but there are also lengthy waitlists for all kinds of other procedures and appointments. The hospital receives about 45,000 referrals a year, but only has the capacity to handle 35,000 referrals annually, a problem that predates the pandemic. The Children's Health Coalition has designed a plan called Make Kids Count to solve those problems. The coalition told Bethlenfalvy in a letter on Friday that Ontario has outgrown its pediatric healthcare system. One area where the Hamilton Hospital needs help is for its child development and rehabilitation program that sees about 750 children a year, but they get 1,200 referrals a year, which adds to their 1,800 child waitlist. When you talk about child development, this is the service where early identification within the developmental window gives the greatest opportunity for addressing the issues for an effective treatment plan, Square said. When you miss those key developmental windows, it becomes more difficult. A poll conducted on Monday found that a slight plurality of Torontonians don't think John Tory should resign as mayor, despite last week's abrupt announcement that he plans to step down. The Interactive Voice response telephone poll conducted by Forum Research on February 13 surveyed 1,040 Toronto residents and found that 45% do not believe the mayor should resign, while 43% believe he should and 11% said they don't know. The results of the poll come after reports surfaced on social media on Monday claiming Toronto residents were receiving robocalls polling them on a number of questions related to Tory's resignation announcement. The reports claimed calls were being made to Toronto landlines asking residents whether they approved of Tory, if they were aware he was stepping down, if he deserves second chance, if he should finish his term, and if they would support him in 2023 mayoral by-election. One user uploaded an audio clip on the call they received. This led to speculation that mayor's office was responsible for the polling. However, a spokesperson has denied any involvement. The Forum research poll found that respondents under 25 were most likely to think the mayor should resign, while male respondents were more likely to think so than female respondents. Political preference also played a role in how respondents answered the question, with 51% of likely progressive conservative voters and 60% of likely liberal voters saying that Tory should not resign. Less than one-third of those who would vote NDP said the same. Respondents were also asked who they would support in a mayoral by-election between a number of potential candidates other than John Tory. On Monday, the mayor's office said Tory plans to attend Wednesday's budget meeting to ensure the $16.2 billion operating budget and $49.3 billion capital plan are finalized. Under new provincial legislation, the mayor can veto council amendments to the budget up to 10 days after those amendments are passed. Council would then have 15 days to override the mayor's veto with a vote by at least two-thirds of all members. It is unclear if Tory will remain in office through the entire budget process if this were to occur. The Ontario Provincial Police will easily be able to catch drivers for even minor infractions with the major expansion of license plate scanning technology in the province. OPP Sergeant Kerry Smith told CTV News, Toronto, the automatic license plate reader system expansion began on Monday in the Greater Toronto Area and will continue to roll out further across Ontario in the coming weeks. Schmidt said the ALPR technology instantly notifies people of things like expired registration, arrest warrants, or if a vehicle is stolen. It also has the capability of capturing vehicles of interest during Amber Alerts. Up to 3 cameras are mounted on top of the police cruisers. One of 2 cameras point forward and one points backwards so that an officer can scan cars in multiple directions. Schmidt said the technology will be a game changer for police, who can now scan hundreds of license plates within minutes while monitoring the roadways. For example, within 22 minutes of patrolling Highway 403 in Mississauga on Monday, Schmidt said the system was able to flag 32 vehicles for infractions. He said the system identified 1 suspended driver, 4 unlicensed drivers, and 27 expired vehicle registrations. The number of vehicles being flagged were coming in so fast it was impossible to keep up with the pulling them over, Smith said. The Ontario government announced in February 2022 they would invest in the ALPR technology as part of its commitment to provide police with the tools they need to do their jobs. A table tennis coach in Newmarket has been charged after he allegedly sexually assaulted his teenage students several times. York Regional Police said they launched an investigation last week after one of the coach students, a 13-year-old girl, came forward to report the alleged incidents, which began in the fall of 2022 and continued into this year. The sexual assaults allegedly occurred during private lessons at the coach's home, where he operates a club named JF Table Tennis Club, police said. On Tuesday, police announced that they arrested the coach, identified as 38-year-old Jiafi Sun. He is facing 3 counts of sexual assault, 3 counts of sexual interference under 16, and invitation to sexual touching. Police have released photos of the accused, as he has had access to children through his coaching, and there may be additional victims. 3 international students are dead and another is clinging to his life in hospital following a ferry rollover in Etobicoke. The crash, which OPP Sergeant Kerry Schmidt described as a very violent collision that involved extreme high rates of speed, happened shortly before 11:30 p.m. Monday on Dundas exit ramp off the southbound Highway 427. In a video posted to social media, Smith said a vehicle with 4 occupants was traveling southbound when it left the ramp and went over a concrete wall into the ditch before crashing into another concrete wall. The vehicle was then redirected back into the ramp, he said, where it then caught on fire. The fire department were on scene and were able to extricate all 4 occupants from that vehicle before being consumed by fire, Schmidt said. 2 people in the backseat were pronounced dead at the scene. A female in the front passenger seat was rushed to trauma center but was later pronounced dead, Schmidt said. Police have not released their names but said they are a 20-year-old man, 20-year-old woman, and a 17-year-old boy. The vehicle's driver, a 21-year-old man, is currently in hospital with critical injuries. Schmidt said all 4 occupants of the vehicle were from Bangladesh and living in Toronto on study permits. He added that their families have been notified. The southbound Highway 427 ramp at Dundas Street was closed for several hours as police investigated but has since reopened. The investigation is ongoing.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Until then, good night.